Hey YouTube, Nurse Marc here. Got some questions recently about oral anabolic steroids and blood thinners and why there's concern about taking oral anabolic steroids and blood thinners. Thought I'd take a minute to quickly explain. So first and foremost, I live in Canada. Anabolic steroids are illegal in Canada. I am not endorsing the use of them. I'm not calling you down for using them. This is an informational purpose only. If you want to take this information and run with it, go ahead. If you don't, it's up to you. Not endorsing anything. However, let's talk a little bit about oral anabolic steroids and blood thinners, all right, and why there's concern about taking both, all right. First, let's talk about oral anabolic steroids. And if you're not aware, when you take an oral anabolic steroid, obviously it's orally taken, gets digested in the stomach, and when it's digested with the stomach, it doesn't immediately go to your muscles, all right. That digested anabolic steroid is then going to enter your venous system and return to your liver, where your liver is going to try and scrub your blood out. Now, anabolic steroids, or at least oral anabolic steroids, I should say, are designed to do what's called survive first pass of the liver. And what that means is when they get to your liver and your liver tries to scrub them out of your blood, it can't do that, right? Because otherwise it's not getting to your muscle. So it survives first pass of the liver and then goes everywhere systemically and lets you get jacked and tanned and bigger. The problem is an oral anabolic steroid that survives first pass of the liver is super hepatotoxic. And I know you're saying, like, how hepatotoxic? Is it a little bit? Is it a lot? Hepatotoxic means liver damage. Is it a little bit? Is it a lot? That depends on the person. Some people could take oral anabolic steroids and it does nothing to the liver functions, and other people will take them and they skyrocket. So the point is, oral anabolic steroids are liver damaging, all right, in order for them to get to your muscle in the first place. That's how that works. So why do we give a crap about oral anabolic steroids and blood thinners? So there's something called pro-coagulation and anticoagulation in the body. Pro being we want your blood to clot, and anticoagulation meaning we don't want your blood to clot. So if you're on a blood thinner, you're taking anticoagulants. Now, why does that matter with oral anabolic steroids? All of your clotting factors, or at least almost all of your clotting factors, are made in your liver, all right? So when you're taxing your liver, whether that be by alcohol or an oral anabolic steroid or both, right, your clotting factors are going to be impaired, whether that be pro or anticoagulation. So when you're taking a blood thinner, warfarin's a great example. When we give you warfarin, we want something called an INR, which is just the time it takes for your blood to clot, to be delayed. Somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5 is the general therapeutic range that we want for somebody on warfarin. If you're drinking a ton or you're taking an oral anabolic steroid, that can cause that to increase, which means it takes you longer to clot. It can potentiate the effects of that warfarin because it's not getting cleared out of your system fast enough. So now instead of having an INR of like 3.5, your INR is 10 and you just don't clot, right? Why is that a problem? All right. So if we have you on an anticoagulant, there's a reason you're on an anticoagulant, whether that be you've got atrial fibrillation, mechanical valves in your heart, you got a DVT in your leg like I did ages ago, and I was on Pradaxa. So you need to be cautious because one of three things is going to happen when you take an oral anabolic steroid or something that's liver taxing, whether that be alcohol or whatnot. Nothing's going to happen to your clotting factors. Your clotting factors are going to increase, or your clotting factors are going to decrease. One of the three. Which is it going to be? We don't know until you do it, right? Everybody's individualistic. And that's why doctors are cautious with alcohol content or alcohol consumption and any kind of blood thinner and anabolic steroids, oral anabolic steroids, and blood thinners. Now you notice I say oral anabolic steroids because injectable anabolic steroids are different. That's a completely different conversation. We're just talking about the oral anabolic steroids these days, like Anavar, Winstrol, Dianabol, any of the stuff that you take orally as a pill, all right? This also goes for like SARMs and stuff that might be created to survive the first pass of the liver, but again, that's kind of a different conversation, but also still lumped in, all right? That's why we're concerned, guys and gals, all right? If you're taking an oral anabolic steroid, it's gonna mess with those pro and anticoagulation properties that your liver makes, whether that be impairing them or causing them to go crazy or doing absolutely nothing. The problem is that means what we're trying to do with keeping you anticoagulated, we might not be able to do properly. All right, and that's the concern that either you should have or your doctor has with oral anabolic steroid use and blood thinners. This video has gone entirely too long. If you guys have questions, I'm always an advocate for talking to your doctor, right? There is patient-doctor confidentiality, right? Unless you murdered somebody, and then don't tell your doctor because he legally has to tell somebody. But my point being is, like, if you tell you, hey doc, I know I'm on apixaban, but I want to jump on a cycle, like how do I do this safely? that's a conversation you might need to have. And he might say, well, you know, like, here's my concerns. I can't stop you from doing it. And then just trying to find a way to work with your physician. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm saying if you're going to do it, regardless, there's nothing I can say that's going to change your mind. Talk to your doctor, advocate for yourself, right? And if you're going to do it and your doctor says, I'm really sorry, I'm not going to help you with this because this is going to be damaging to you, be careful is all I'm getting at, right? Because we don't know how that's going to affect you. It could either cause you to clot faster than you're supposed to, not clot at all, or it does absolutely nothing. That's why your doctor's concerned. That's why you should be concerned. That's it. In a nutshell. Questions and comments down below. Like and subscribe. And as always, eat like a bodybuilder and train like a powerlifter.